Hi guys, so regarding the copy and paste for our 3ds Max scene, so if we head on to the site, which is scriptspot.com, and we have copy and paste objects. If you look below, it tells you how to install. Now all you need to do is download this copy and paste attachment, and it's as simple as opening a 3ds Max scene and dragging this into your scene. It tells you here, run the script. And then if you head into your customization and change your hotkeys, and it has the hotkeys here, which ones you should use. So I've got mine set to Control Shift C, and to paste is Control Shift V. And all you need to do is click and save, and that should be saved for every time you use 3ds Max. I use this all the time. It's such a lifesaver. It saves so much time rather than going into other scenes and just exporting, importing. If you cut that time out, you're saving so much time. So highly recommend the copy and paste script. If you are struggling to get it installed, then please drop me a message and I'll help you with whatever way I can. So guys, just before we start our course, just make sure you check your 3ds Max scene and make sure everything is set up to the way we will be doing this course. So if you go into customize, unit setup, make sure your scene is set to centimeters. In system unit setup, make sure it's also set to centimeters. So we're going to be working in centimeters, so just making sure everything is the same. So guys, just to go through the software we're going to be using for this course. So we're going to be using Autodesk 3ds Max. We're in 2021 and also 2018. If you're using anything below that, you won't be able to access some of the files. Anything above, you'll be able to access the files, so don't worry about that. So you can actually download a free trial of 3ds Max. I think you get 30 days, I believe. And if you are a student, you've got your student version. And if you want to actually buy 3ds Max, you've got your options here. You can do 1 month for £246, 1 year for £1,968, 3 years £5,904. So with that free trial, if you just create an account and choose your options, then you should be able to download a 30-day free trial. So for our next software, we're going to be using V-Ray, and as I mentioned, we're using 3ds Max 2021 and 3ds Max 2018 for anyone below. So you get 30 days with V-Ray, and if you are a student, I believe you can get it for free, and if you're just purchasing it, I believe it is £29 monthly, and with that you get your fixed license to one computer, and it includes all your extras. And if you are a student, you can get V-Ray for £9.50 a month, which is very good for a student, and you get all your pluses here. And for our third software, we're going to be using Photoshop. You can also get a free trial with Photoshop. I believe the Adobe trial lasts around maybe 20 days or 30 days. I'm not too sure on that, but it's around that figure. And you can also get Photoshop for £21 a month. There is actually 2 Photoshop versions you can get. One comes just Photoshop, which is £9.99 a month, which I've got, and this one comes with another software which I didn't go for. I think it was Lightroom it comes with. So that's all of our 3D softwares that we're going to be using. Okay, so hello everyone, let's get started with chapter 1 of our course. So we have got our layout file open at the moment, and it is of our CAD of the bedroom scene, and as you can see it says layout file open. Now I've saved 2 files in the file destination where you can download, so you've got a 2018 version and also you've got a 2021 version. I'm going to be working in the 2021 version, but anyone who's working in a lower version, you have that version to open and follow along to this tutorial. So before we get started, we're just going to make sure everything's set up to the way we need it. So we've got our customize, and if we head over to our unit setup, now I'm going to be working in centimeters, so I just want to make sure everything is set up to the way I need it. So metrics set to centimeters, system units is also set to centimeters. So press OK for both, and we can go from there. Now the reason why I wanted to double check that is because sometimes you can get a 3D file and sometimes the unit setup can be different. Now you might be using centimeters, millimeters, meters or inches. I just prefer centimeters. I think it's a lot easier to go along with, and a lot of websites have centimeters on them as well if you're using for it as a reference for any 3D models you might download or any 3D models you want to create from scratch. But there is a hidden tool in 3ds Max which not a lot of people know about. So if I just make this little box here, then you're going to see we've got our length, width and height. And if you had, let's say, something on the website that said 20 millimeters or 40 millimeters or 60 millimeters for the length, width and height, then you can just type in into your 3ds Max scene 60 millimeters, and then it would translate it to centimeters. Now not a lot of people know about this tool, and it's a very good tool to have, so it's good to know that. So if you're ever working in centimeters and there's something online that's different, then you just simply put that information into here and you can just translate it, which is perfect. Anyway, let's move on. So let's talk about this layout. So we've got in this layout, we've got our lighting system, we've got our walls, we've got our doors, we've got our window, and we've got our units as well. And there's also stuff we'll be adding in later, but for the moment these are the most important bits. Okay. And also make sure you have your autosaves ready as well, because there's sometimes 3ds Max just like to close on you. So, okay, with all that out of the way and our intro sorted. Okay, with all that sorted, let's get down to modelling. So, what I want to do, I want to get open a spline, and I want a line, and I'm also going to turn our snaps on so it's easier to model. So I'm actually going to hide everything apart from the layout. So I want a line, and I've got snaps on. So if we just start with our spline and start going to the edges and get these parts. Close the spline, and then if we head over to our line and we create line. Now if you're wondering as well why the wall sizes are different, then I will explain that. So for over here we have our door model which will fit nicely here, and then we have our window model that's going to fit into this position over here. So that is why the sizes are different over in this area. Close that spline, and we have our spline. So what we want to make sure, and if you're in orographic or if you're working in perspective, I prefer to work in orographic mode because everything is straight. So we just want to make sure there's no verts that are sticking out or going a different way, and there doesn't seem to be, so that's great. So once that's done, we want to add, well, let's change that to room, put capital R there, and let's add a extrude to that. Perfect, got a nice extrude there. So with our extrude, we need to get the ceiling height precise, and we're also going to be doing a bit of work over here as well to this wall. So in your file you should have a specs list, which I've created for you, so I'll just shrink that down. I'm just going to move that to my other screen, but you can also, you'll have this as well. So the ceiling height is going to be 245 centimeters. Now these are actually real world measurements as well. This is from a project that I've actually worked on, so I've translated it into this Udemy course for you guys, so to show you what you can do with these skills as well. Okay, so we've got our height, which is perfect. Okay guys, so let's carry on with our room. So we've got our ceiling height sorted in the model, and now we want to make sure we can get in the rest of the specs. So if you open up your spec sheet, this one, so I'm just going to put it on my other screen. So we've done our ceiling height, so I highly recommend once you've done something you should just cross it off this list. So we want to work on the door to ceiling height at the moment. So what we want to do, we want to get a box and we want to snap it to there. And just to make sure the height is right and working, we'll just go like that. So it's not. So what we'll do, we'll just turn that around. So again guys, make sure your snaps is on and make sure your ankle snaps is on as well. So snap top polygon to there, and yeah, that's the same. So we want a door to ceiling height which is 45 centimeters. So we click 45 and that will go to there. So if we grab that, bring it down, and then click on model, and if we select all of that and go connect, we've got our line in our model to add the door ceiling height. So if we go into polygon, select both of these and select the border, that border, and we bridge it. Same over here, same process. Delete. If we just select both and bridge. So if we move that out of the way now. Out of the way, and then we've got our nice door to ceiling height sorted. So next we want to work on the window, and again guys, just so you don't put any wrong measurements in, I highly recommend just removing the ones you've already worked on. So we need a window to floor height which is 81 centimeters. So if we put 81 into that, and we grab the bottom and bring it all the way down, and we'll just move it right next to the model so it's in line. Perfect. And guys, you're probably thinking, why am I using this way to measure? It's probably one of the best ways. I know there is a measuring tool in here, but I just prefer using the actual boxes just to measure and just get it more accurate. It's the way I've always done it with making objects or sofas or anything that I've had to make. It's just a faster way in my opinion. but it's whatever way you prefer. There's all different ways to do it, but I highly recommend this one. So if we go to our model and we select all of that side, and we add a ring as well, and connect. Perfect. So if we do all that and bring it down to over here, and then again we set our polygons. And guys, as well, if you're wondering how I did that, I'd select two at the same time, hold down Control and click with the left mouse button and then delete. And then we need to bridge. Perfect. So we've got a nice window ledge now as well. And for the window to ceiling height is 47 centimeters. So bring that to there. There we go. So we've got our lines very close together, so don't worry about that. It's not going to affect anything. So again, same process. And over here, same process. So also, if you're wondering how I'm moving around like this, hold Alt and the middle mouse button and it gives you free access to move around. There we go. And if we just select that to there, perfect. So now we can get rid of this box. And we just need to select these, delete. Again with our border, select both, and then bridge. There we go. So you see guys, we've got a nice window area now, and then we've got our door entrances sorted as well. Okay guys, so now we've got our windows and door entrances sorted. It's now time to move on to the next part. So we need to add a pillar going across here, from here to here, and the way we're going to do this is, because obviously you can see we've got no line here to add anything in. So if we still have our spec sheets open and focus on the pillar height and pillar width. So this pillar right here, that's correct at the moment. So what we want to do is add in a line over here. So if we press connect, and it's going to go slanted. So best way to sort this out is just grab the verts and go like that. Or the other way is you can just grab the line, go down to your settings and press X, not X, wrong one, sorry, press Y, and it does the same thing. So it's whatever way you want to do it. I think the vert way is probably faster. So if we go to there, and got that sorted. Okay, so let's create another box. We'll do it from the top, and we want the pillar height, which is 30 centimeters. And if we put that to there, and then we also look at the pillar width. So we want to make that, let's turn that around, put that to there. I want to make that 35.7. So that should be accurate. Oh, we're a little bit off. So all we need to do is just grab this and just go snap it to there, and also grab that one, snap it to there, just make sure these are in line as well. Perfect. bring that box all the way up. Oh. Then both sides, just create a ring and snap it to there. So we can get rid of this box now. Delete that and delete that one. And bridge that. Perfect. So now we've got a nice pillar in the room as well, so it separates both rooms. So you've got the bedroom area here, and we're going to make this into a nice little office sitting area as well. Perfect. So guys, just make sure as well that all your verts and lines are in the right places, and we'll let that auto save as well. So make sure everything is nice and neat, so there's no problems going forward, and it is looking nice and neat. It's looking great, that. Yeah, it's looking great. Perfect. Okay guys, so now we've done our windows, doors and pillar height, so we don't need that spec sheet anymore, so we can now close that. So we're going to work on our lights now. Now what I mean by that is we're going to make the actual holes for our lights. So we can just hide these again, and we can open up a box, and we can just put that over there and just add a height to it. Put around, say, 20 centimeters, and just get into our wireframe. And just name that ceiling. Add an edit polygon to it. And if we take away this part right here, because I'm not going to need it for now, just snap to there, and we also snap to there, and just delete it. Just let that save. Bridge that. And bridge that. And that's perfect. So if you want to access wireframe quickly, just press F3 and F3 again to come back to normal. So that's F3 on your keyboard. So now, as you can see guys, we've got our lights over here on the CAD, and we want to add them into our ceiling. So there's a few ways to do this. You could simply get a cylinder and make it the same height. So for example, just put that there, and if we, sorry about that, there we go. So if we just center that to there, and we go like that, and just add a bit more to it, and add a height to it, get rid of the height segments, lift that all the way up, it's around there. And then if we select this and go into compound, then we have our Boolean and our Pro-Boolean. I'm not going to actually go and do this because I'm going to do it a different way, which is easier. Because if you use Pro-Boolean, I mean, I would say it's good if you're adding 1 or 2 lights in, but if you're adding this many lights in, it's just going to mess the mesh up. But what this does is it cuts a hole into the ceiling and it doesn't add any, well, verts anywhere really. It tries to guess, and it is a good method, but it's not the method we need to use. So what we're actually going to do, we're going to go back into our ceiling and get rid of that because we don't need it. Just go back actually. And we're going to get rid of that cylinder. Now this might take a bit more time, but it's the better method in my opinion because you're going to get the best out of it. And plus, it might actually not might not take that long because our lights are in line and they're not out of line. So all we need to do is add, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines. Now don't worry about how many lines you have, it's not the end of the world. Simply grab, go to the edges, and go to the edge there. Let's make sure it's in line. Oop. There we go. Be a bit tricky. Let's grab that. There we go. There we go. And then this one. Do the same there. Let the auto save happen. And there we go. So we've got our lines in place, and we're going to do the same thing again over here. So we need to just add 2 over here. Grab that one as well. Do that one there. Let's make sure that's in line. Yeah, it's perfect. Then do the same for these ones. So we need 4. Perfect. So now we've got that sorted, which is great. So now I want to add a few more lines in. Again, guys, don't worry about how many lines you got in. It's not going to do anything. So we just want to add 1 in the center there, 1 in the center here, and 1 in the center here, and then the same for this way. And you'll see why I'm doing this. Do the same here as well. Okay, perfect. So if we go under and we grab, let's make sure we're in the right one. Yep, there we go. We delete them and then grab the border, then go into this one right here, specify. Sorry if I didn't say it right, it's very hard to say. And we want to make sure, let's just get rid of that. sure that's quite nice and circular. So we might need to add in a few more lines. So if we just delete that. Ring, connect, connect, and then try that again. Oh, yeah, okay. We've got a nice circular hole, and that's for our light fitting. Now again, guys, don't worry about the amount of lines you got in it. It's not going to make a difference to the model. So if we unhide that now, and guys, this is very important. On top of that, add in an edit poly and do the same process again over here. Now, as I said, this is a much better option than Pro Boolean, because Pro Boolean won't do this and it will just guess with the geometry and add in verts in the most random places. So yes, this part does take a bit more time, but as I said, it's much better and you're going to get more out of it. Just let that save. And connect, and just select the border and do Spherify again. There we go, that's sorted. Now also again, don't worry about these lines being pulled in. So if we just come out of F3, so you can see that the geometry is pulling in, but again, don't worry because it's not going to make an effect to anything. Still all level. So if you go with like that into your side view, wireframe again, and there's our holes. So you can see everything's in line, nothing's coming out of line. Okay, so again guys, so that's a repeat process for the rest of the lights over here. So again, don't forget, add an edit poly. Make sure you add in the lines here. So that's all of them. Grab the border. Do the same on this one. And then edit poly. Delete. Grab the border. And then edit poly. Grab these. Ring, connect. Grab these, same process again. And guys, don't think it's as easy as just like doing this and then doing it the same, as in grabbing all these as well and then adding a Spherify on top of it, because it will just pull them closer together, so it won't work the way you want it to work. So don't try and take a shortcut on it. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So if we do the same again. And delete them. Perfect. So now we've got these ones over here. So as you guys can see, obviously there's a collision here. So the best thing to do is just going to grab these, and don't worry about this because it's not going to make a difference. And it's actually good that we've got our border there. Oh, we can get rid of that. So if we grab our border and just move that into there. So, okay, perfect. So easy peasy with this part. Go back into our standard. Oh, so that's another box. Link it to there. And link it to the same height. So obviously, so you've got no overlapping, and you can just do the same process again. So we'll just call this ceiling 2. So it's just obviously guys, it was just a faster way than messing around with all these, pushing them and everything. So you just got another separate object, and it won't make a difference with the textures when it comes to texturing. So again guys, simple repeat. Free. So that auto save. Perfect. There we go. And again guys, if you select that, and then this time we add in 3, and then add in 3 again here, and then go to the under part, and we take away these. Nicely delete them. And then simple as, so if I edit poly, so again, so if I poly, perfect. So that's all done now. Come out of F3. Take a look at our ceiling. So we've got some nice light hole fittings now. So our next part, we will add another edit poly. Select border. Oh, select the border. Select all the holes. And jump back into our wireframe. F3. I'm just going to turn snaps off for this part. So take them up to around there. And then we go back into F3. Oh. and just turn the edges off. You can see got a nice light hole fitting now, and we can actually just cap them. So I wouldn't worry about seeing these, because when it comes to the actual rendering, there's going to be a light here, so you're not going to actually need to worry about these. I mean, if you are a bit worried, you can just select them and just add a smooth on top, so auto smooth, and edit poly, and then just smooth that out. But it's, as I said, there's nothing to really worry about because you're not going to see it. So if you do the same process on here, just grab all your fittings with the border tool, hold Control and left click. Just go into your wireframe, and you can actually use snaps for this part, just to get it the same. And then just cap it. Perfect. So if you want to make these both grey, just so you know. There you go. So we've got some really nice light hole fittings now. So we can actually get rid of these and save again. Perfect. So that's it for the light hole fittings. We'll move on to our next video, where we'll do the nice skirting as well around the room. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Okay guys, welcome back. So in this part we're going to be working with our skirting. So in your spec sheet you'll have that. So if we just hide our ceilings for now, and also just re-hide these, and we can see our room. So if you get a box, and if we make the skirting height 4.5 centimeters, and the width make that 1.2 centimeters. So we've got a nice smart skirting board. And if we line that up with our wall. So we're going to be working with carpet in this bedroom scene, so we'll probably lose, actually let me just go into a front row. We'll probably end up losing around maybe that much, so which is accurate to in a real room with a smart skirting board like that. So don't worry when it comes to the render and you're thinking, oh, why is half of it missing? It's not, it's just the carpet will just layer above it, but it will look very nice. So if we turn that into an edit poly, again if we just hide these, and if we go to there, and also if we go back into our wireframe for free, and we put our skirts into there. So you don't want to go past over here, because that's going to be our door frames. Okay, perfect. So an easy way, instead of just going into a connect and then adding another selection, is just basically adding a symmetry onto it, and going into there, going into the mirror, pressing E to use that, and as you can see, you've got a nice little connect there. So we want that to be on the other side, so if we go to Y and then go to there. Around there. And I'll show you a little trick once we've actually done all of our skirting, just to make it more, give it a more realistic look as well. So let's go back up, go into an edit poly. So I've just gone further. Nope. Go into edit poly and just drag that all the way to that edge. And then if we go into our effect pivot, I'll just drag that to there. There we go. And just turn it again. Then just do an edit poly. Bring that to around, maybe around there. And we just move that. Just need to cap that. Let that save. And then simple thing again, effect pivot. Just bring it to that edge. And then again, just do a symmetry. So we'll just go back into there. Let's drag that to there. And then drag this all the way up. Get to there. Grab that. Grab that. Okay, perfect. So obviously we've got some furniture and our doorway there, so just simple add in some lines and obviously make sure they're straight. So we add 4. Just drag that to there. It's in line. Drag that one to there. Remember guys, make sure your skirting doesn't interfere with the skirt, well, the door frame. So just delete these and delete these, and just simple as going onto the cap, and it's already selected them. Sorry, yeah, just cap, and just to make sure it's done that properly. Perfect. Just bring that out a bit. Looking great. So again, just as simple as doing it around this area. So around this area, that's going to be the wardrobe space, so we're not going to have to worry about that. So what we want to do now is just let that autosave. We'll just make this part a separate object, so we're just going to detach it. So if we scroll down and look for detach, and then for the pivot point, that's there. Just move it to the edge. Make sure it's on the edge. Yep. Okay, so with our object selected here, our detach one, we're just going to move the pivot to here, and then do the same thing as we did before, just add a symmetry, flip it, poly, bring this in, just move that to there. Turn snaps back on. Not around. So if we just delete that, line that up, add a cap. Again, just move that onto there, or that side, and add another symmetry. And just turn that very nicely. Add another edit. Oh, let's just actually make sure that's not colliding. Go into your mirror. Just hide that. And obviously we don't want that to happen, so the easy way around that is just select these, select these ones, and select these ones, delete, and then just put that back to where it was. Now if we just cap them off. Okay, that's perfect. So they're capped off now. And we now have our skirting sorted. So what I'd recommend make sure everything's normal. Not sure what's going on there. Just let that save. Just delete that because I'm not sure what that is. What is it? Oh, it's part of that. Okay. So we'll just delete that. So what I want to do now is just collapse these. So collapse and collapse. And then as this is like these, so we can just attach it back together, and then just name it skirting. Okay, so now what we want to do with our skirting, and don't worry about these lines, there's nothing It's not going to cause a problem, it's just the shading on it. So what we want to do, we just want to add some nice detail in. If we go into our edge, and just like there. And if we add a chamfer and put it to 0.1, now if we turn our edge off, you can see we've got some nice detail going around, and that'll be nice on the render when it's rendering. You'll be able to see that. So if we want to hide all, and we just hide our ceilings again, and then we can see. That's perfect. It's looking nice now, and it's coming together nicely. Okay, I'll see you in the next one, and we'll go through the next stage. Okay guys, welcome back to our next part of our course, and in this one we're going to be putting our windows and doors in. So I've already provided a file, you'll find that in your files. It's called Windows and Doors, and you'll have two, one's 2018, one's 2021. As you can see, we've got our windows and we've got our doors. So what we're going to do, we're going to copy and paste these, or if you want to import them or to your file, then you can do that. And guys, if you don't have your copy and paste tool, that will be in the tutorial at the start of the course. So if you missed that part, then jump back to that part. So we've still got our room here, and if we press Control V, and we'll just wait for that to load in. Perfect. So our window is nicely lined up. Yep, our window is nicely lined up, so we'll just double check it's all good. So if we press F3, that's perfect. It's also perfect. And if we jump into the side view, left, just make sure that's hitting. Yep, that's perfect. That's perfect. So I might just want a bit more. Turn our snaps off. I just want a bit more space, shelf space. Let's judge it by there. That's perfect. Okay, so that's where I want it. Then if we grab, we're going back into clay mode, and let's check our two doors. So we want to take door 1, which is this one, and we want to put door 1 as our entrance. Now if you notice as well, just hide these, both of our doors are slightly different, and the reason for that is excuse me, the reason for that is that one's our entrance and that one's are going to be our other door to the other room, which we'll get onto that a bit later. But so this one, we will be using this one in the further tutorial to just to add some nice detail. We're going to slightly open it and just add a bit of light going through it, but you'll see that further down the line. So this one is just our normal door, which we're not going to do anything with. So let's unhide all. Let's hide our ceilings. Take this, turn it. Let's make sure we've got our snaps on our angle snap. And we want that to hit there. Make sure it's nicely lined up. Get back into clay mode. Yep, that's nicely lined up. That's just how we want it. Perfect. Look at that. Look at that good detail there. Maybe just bring that in a bit more. Oh no, it doesn't need to go in a bit more. That's perfect. Just move it back a bit. Get in line. Perfect. That's just what we want. Just want to get that nice detail lined up there. Okay, so our second door, I'm going to take that, turn it. Oh. Perfect. Just make sure that is the right way. Yep. And again, same process. Just going to go into our wireframe and then snap it in. Just snap that to there. And if we go into our clay mode again, that's perfect. So now we've got that nice entrance into another room and our nice exit out of the bedroom. And again, guys, as I said, well, it's up to you guys if you want to, however you want to do it. If you want to put the doors on the other way, that's fine. It's just on this project we're going to be doing it this way. So now we've got our exit and our entrance to another room. So that's all good. So that's how we want it. Okay, guys, I'll see you in the next lecture. So we'll go on to the next part. Okay, guys, so our next part is going to be some furniture building. So if you head into your files again, and you'll see the layout furniture. And again, there's two files. There's going to be a 2018 file and there's going to be a 2021 file. So here we have some nice splines of some furniture. So we've got the drawers for the bed, and then we've got the storage drawers for the wall. So I'll just show you in the file. So our storage is going to go here, and the two bed drawers are going to go here. So got that nice layout to know where to put them. And again, guys, if you want to change up a bit and do it to a different way that I do it, then that's absolutely fine. I'm just going to be going through this way on our tutorial. Okay, so let's head back to our other file. And what we're going to do, we'll start with the big one at the moment. So we'll just move that and just center that. I'm going to hide that for now. And we'll just start with the top. So I'm just going to turn grids off. I use G on the keyboard. And turn our spline, not spline, turn our snaps toggle on and our angle snaps on. And also select box. So get that and do that. Go into edit poly and just grab that, go all the way to there, and we've got the top of our storage unit for the drawers. So what we'll do, we'll get all of our building done first, and then we'll add in the detail. So we want to get another box, snap it to there, and just slide that along to there, edit poly. Edit poly, grab, go to there. Just going to go into clay mode as well. And then we'll do that. Again, guys, same process, edit poly. So we'll make 3 copies of this. So we'll do it as a reference. So it copies. So any changes we make on the original model, it will also do the changes on these models as well. Rather than doing one by one. Excuse me. Okay. So now we've got that sorted, we'll start adding in some detail. And again guys, if you want to hide your splines, you can do that. I'm just going to keep them there for a reference for now. So, we've already got our edit poly on top. Just add a... Actually, I'm going to add another edit poly on top, and you'll see why. Just in case we make any mistakes, I'd just like to have that extra one. So we select all of our edges, and we grab a chamfer and change that to triangle. We go to detail 0.1, so that autosave. Might actually use uniform on here. Yeah, we'll use uniform, and we'll add detail of 2. Yeah, that should be nice. So we got a nice detail 2. Perfect. And if we do the same on the draw as well. And guys, if you make any mistakes, you can also just delete that edit poly on top, and then you can go back and redo it rather than starting from scratch. So we'll do the same here. We'll grab all of them and then chamfer again. And as you can see guys, the same details happening there. So if we add in 2, it's doing on all of them. So again, detail of 0.1, and just make sure we're happy with it. So I'm just going to actually hide everything else, just to take a closer look. Just make sure you're happy with it. Seems good enough for me. And then we'll add in our detail on the actual box. So we won't do the back ones or the these bottom ones, because that'll be against the wall, and also the bottom ones will be, well, in the carpet, so you won't really see it, so it's not going to really matter. Oh, that's it. 0.1 again. Okay, and let's just select all of these. Excuse me. So you're probably thinking the model looks a bit, well, when you're moving about it, the normals don't look that great, and that's because we use the chamfer. So the best way around that is just select all of that, and then I've also provided a script which is ifw normals, and if you just download that, and all you need to do is just install it on your desktop and just drag it across into your 3D file, and then it should do that. And what you want to do is just press generate, and it's done all those 5 models, and just basically put the normals to how they should be. So now it looks a lot better, and you've not got any of those weird normals happening really. Okay, so that's the draw done. You should drag and then just press copy, that's better. And then you're just going to want to delete those normals, and you'll see why. So the reason obviously we're not creating the model from scratch is just obviously working smarter not going backwards and, you know, creating the model from scratch. You know, it was a similar model. You can just use the same bits and get it done a lot quicker. And obviously make sure it's lined up to the way you need it. So that should be lined to there. And that one should be lined to there. And it should be completely the same. Oh, just let that save as well. And just make sure they're all lined up the same, so yeah, that's how it should be. And then as simple as just dragging these to there, making sure that's in line, which it is. And you can just drag these. So just make sure that's in line with the spline. Perfect. And it should be the same there. Yep. That's how we want it. And it's just a simple process again, guys. Just need to bring them out a bit actually. Let's just hide everything. Bring that to there. Bring that to there. And then our top one, same process again. Then just obviously bring it down a bit as well. There we go. As you can see as well, we've got a nice detail as well for the draw, which shows like a gap, a nice gap in between, you know, all the wood and everything. So we just select all of that again and make sure that's all selected, and then use our script. Again, guys, it's that IFW, and then just press generate, and then it's all done. And as you can see, if we just hide all that, our normals look spot on. Perfect. So if you save that, and then I'll see you in the next one. Okay guys, for our next part we're going to be working on our handles for our storage units. So you can see here we've got our handle spline. We're just going to create a box, just going to let that save. I'm just going to create a box there and then bring that out. I'm going to put a a height of 2.5 centimeters. Just make sure that is where I want it to be. Yep. And what we'll do, just actually get that to the right part. What we'll do, we'll just hide the rest, and we will create another box. And make that 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters, and just add that to there. Bring it up to the handle, so we'll put it there, and we're also going to add a second one over here. And then, excuse me, I'm going to add our edge faces on, just so I can see where they are as a reference. Get into our edit poly, and then we're going to just add some connects here. We'll add 2 for now. Go into our verts and just drag them to there and 1 to there. And then just going to add 1 there. I'm just going to come out snaps. I'm just going to put that around there. And just delete that. I want to bridge that, bridge that, bridge that. Okay, perfect. And delete them. So now we've got our handle. We'll add some more detail onto it. So if we grab these grab these lines and also these lines all the way around and here. Oh. And then if we go to chamfer again, it's gone a bit weird, which is expected, so we just need to bring it out. There we go. Let's try it from 0.1. See how that looks. Just come out of edge faces. That's quite nice, that. Tell you what, let's add these in first. Go to 3 centimeters. And then I think that looks pretty nice for our detail. So if we adjust our thing, we'll just use that as a reference. Actually, let's rename that handle for storage. Oh, misspell that. Handle for storage. And then reference it. Put that to there. Put that to there. Just make sure it's lining up nicely. And then if we just drag one over here and just make it another copy instead of a reference, because if we make it a reference, then it's just going to adjust all these ones over here. So get that nicely lined up. There we go. And just drag that in. There we go. Drag that one down. Perfect. Now if we just drag all of our, oh, they've gone in too much. Let's bring them out. There we go. So if we select all of our drawers, and these ones too, look at that, got some really nice drawers. Now we don't need to use that normals script on these because they've not gone weird with the normals, because the chamfer is actually weird. It's a bit of a hit and miss with the chamfer sometimes, but thankfully it's not happened on these. So they're looking really nice. So we'll just rename these. So just call it storage. Call it storage large. And then if we just copy that and just do it on the rest and add a number for each. Just 2, 3, 4. And what I'd recommend is also just collapsing these down with the normals. There we go. I'll do the same here as well. And then just same process, just call this one storage null 1. Wait, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, perfect. And then we'll just group them. Call that again storage 1, and call this one storage 2. And if we copy these ones and head back to our other scene and just paste them in. Perfect. And then if we grab this one, let's grab our storage 2, and if we start lining it up, might just turn snaps off for this one. Just get a nice zoom in there, bring it to around there. That's good. Again, just let that auto save. Grab our bed storage. Just get into wireframe for this one. Place that one there. And don't worry about the size difference here, guys. It's just a reference for where to put them. Now we'll call that storage 2. And then come back into clay mode. That's perfect. We've got some nice storage units in our room now. It's really coming together, guys. You should be very happy with the results so far. It's really coming together. Okay, so we'll finish that section there, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay guys, for this next part we're going to bring in our wardrobe. So we've already got that made. It's in your wardrobe file, so you should have a wardrobe 2021 file or a wardrobe 2018 file. So we'll just go into clay mode just to have a quick look at this. So our wardrobe is going to consist of 2 wardrobes and 2 mirrors. It's basically sliding doors. Now for our scene we're going to have them closed. It's up to you guys if you want to further expand on this area. You've got the basics, it's just the inside. If I just ungroup this, and as you can see, you've just got the back part, but again, it's completely up to you guys if you want to expand on it. Just rename that wardrobe. Okay, so again, if you just copy, or if you want to import it in, it's up to you guys. And if we head on back to our layout file and just press Ctrl+Shift+V, and it's going to say we've got the same name as the door frame, so just auto rename that one. Okay, there we go, that's nicely synced in. So it's just got a bit of collision with our door, so we're just going to have to move our door a bit more up. So if we hide that, and if we can hide that, if we just move our door, some hide all, maybe around there, let's hide that again, and just drag this to there, and that should do it. There we go. Oh yeah, we need to just move that, adjust that, and we'll need to add one over here. Perfect. And if we just grab that and just go like that, just clone that to object. That's very nice. Just get this lined up. Let's make sure it's right. Yep. Oh, and if we just cap that off and then just drag it near to the edge. There we go. Perfect. We just need to adjust that door height. Let's go into our wireframe. There we go. So we just need to bring our doors a bit down. Oh, actually no, we won't need to. We can actually leave them like that because of the carpet. Carpet will cover that. So we'll still have a nice little gap actually. That should be everything for now. So what we'll do is we'll just actually ungroup this and just bring it to the edges. And just make sure we've grabbed everything. That part there. Excuse me. Group that. Wardrobe. So yeah, so that is everything so far. There's just a few more little details I want to add in here. So if we just grab that and add in a poly on it, and if we just hide everything apart from the room. So we just grab the edges over here, and these edges, and the edges. Those edges, those edges. Oh. Just going to cancel the autosave. Yeah, we'll grab that as well. So basically what we're doing, just adding a bit more detail into our room. Let's grab them as well. And that one there. So you're just going to add a chamfer. And this is going to go down to 0, 0. And this is just going to add an extra bit of detail into the room. Now don't worry about this part of the normal script will sort out. Okay, so we press that and we'll just grab our normal script, generate, and there we go, that's sorted. So yeah, so it's just added some nice hard edges into the room. So when it comes to rendering, it'll be much more clearer to make out. I know it's a tiny bit of, well, tiny bit of detail, but it's when it comes to rendering, it does make a massive difference in my opinion. It's just one of those things. If you want to add it in, add it in. If you don't, you can delete that layer. You can always go back, and if you want to add, if you want to make the excuse me, if you want to make it a bit larger, you can. There's nothing against it. I just advise don't go above maybe 0.3 in my opinion. Just try and keep it nice and squeezed as possible. If I just go into the edges, you'll see why. But you got to, I mean, if you look at it from a real world view, it usually is around 0.001. Again, it's up to you guys if you want to add it in. So yeah guys, before we move on to our next section, which is texturing, I'm just going to give out a bit of advice. So you can see here our room has changed colour to red, and the reason for that is we're picking an object colour. So I picked red, and the example of this is when we take it into Photoshop, our final renders, let's just say when we're editing something is a bit off and we want to change the colour, then we've got our ID, object ID render mask, which will be these colours. I advise to make sure the handles are a different colour, or they're all the same colour though, and make the top of these storage units different. Also, I would say make sure these two are different colours. Windows can be the same colour because there's not going to be a problem with that. It's just going to be one colour. The doors, I would definitely make sure they're different colours. Sorry, the same colour, both doors, but make sure they're not the same colour as the window. You'll see in the next section that mine will be different colours, so if you want to copy those colours, that's absolutely fine. We'll do a quick run through. But for this tutorial, I think we'll leave it there, and I'll see you in the next one for texturing.